Alright. So I'm back and let's wrap up Form 4. There are actually so many things that happened in Form 4, but each one of them are very small and not as significant as the incidents in Forms 1 to 2. But I'm going to try my best and wrap it up as quick as possible because I know that it's probably been 40 something minutes already. Anyways, I have last left off with the incident with Mary in November. All at the same time, in November, Jeffrey and Natalie, for some reason, they're still friends. They're still close to one another. I guess it's because Natalie still has ties, with the original C class gang, and so is Jeffrey, even though Jeffrey was in 3A. Anyways, for some reason, they're still friends, and I guess I'm happy about that. But what I'm not happy about is Jeffrey basically used Natalie's WhatsApp, private WhatsApp, and send me a voice message telling me to eat shit. That came out of nowhere. Like, it just came out of nowhere. Like, I guess it's because at some point Natalie told Jeffrey about how socially awkward I am, and in Form 3, I'm gonna admit it, in Form 3, I'm still like a little bit, ooh, cool theories and people relationship and stuff, conspiracy theories and all that. So back in Form 3, I'm still like that. So I guess Jeffrey just thinks I'm dumb. I didn't even piss off Jeffrey. I didn't even take anything from him. And Jeffrey telling me to eat shit out of the blue, it's just like come on, dude. Come on, dude. Have some respect. Also at the same time, Tyrus hates me. So Jeffrey hated me, Tyrus hated me. What happened to Tyrus is that, Tyrus and Cedric, they were in the same class. And Tyrus and Cedric, they became really close friends. And Natalie's Cedric's friends for most of the time. And given that Natalie's kind of close with Pink, and Pink in the beginning was having a relationship with Tyrus, it just makes total sense that Natalie and Tyrus would also become friends. And of course, there's the whole Pink thing where, I try to help without Tyrus's knowing, because Tyrus would probably think I'm a big dumbass. So anyway, one day I was about to go to drama practice, drama play practice, Macbeth, really cool, and I was about to tell Cedric to come along because Cedric's also in the drama club. He's responsible for the stage management. Okay, he's responsible for the lighting. And then Tyrus hugged Cedric and said, "Fuck off," and I'm not that offended by it, but honestly, I was upset about it. Like, you're just gonna steal my friend like that, huh? Again, I'm okay with Cedric having other friends. I'm totally okay. In fact, I'm pretty sure that Cedric right now has like many more friends whom he is even closer to than I am. And I'm kind of fine with that. Like, it's not like that it matters all that much anymore. But back in the days when school is everything, like, come on. I'm already losing friends left and right, okay? You have to take Cedric away from me as well. Very funny, haha. But yeah, partially the reason why Tyrus is being so rude to me. Oh, the other day he called me a wimp. And he said I look like a comedian, which is a huge insult. Like, no, I'm the detective, okay? I'm serious. But sometimes I get kind of cringy sometimes. So sometimes Tyrus would say, "Wow, you're cringe," So partially the reason why Tyrus has this attitude is because of his rough relationship with Pink, really, causing him to malfunction emotionally, psychologically. Up next in December, it is announced that Kingsley and Olivia are in a relationship. So congratulations! Hey! Really not much else to it. Kingsley is charismatic, has a lot of friends, very strong, handsome, fast, super smart, straight A's, just knows everything, and everybody, and he's like the father of everyone, you know. And then Olivia is a small lolly girl, very cute, wears glasses, like one of those anime girls. She's a lolly, admit it, okay? And she's also super smart, like an alien basically. Doesn't quite know how to speak, doesn't quite know how to socialize, but she just has really good memory, and she's also one of those students who get A or high scores for everything for some fucking motherfucking reason. And so them two together, you know what? It's expected. And not gonna lie, Kingsley, the tall, handsome, muscular boy, and Olivia, the small little alien lolly girl, they match. They do match. A little backstory here: Kingsley and Pink actually dated back in Form 1, and Pink had gotten a lot of heat for it. And Kingsley, given the pervert that he is, you know, he did some sexual things to Pink. But let's just forget about that, okay? Let's just forget about that. Alright, moving on to the second half of Form 4. There are so many damn things that happened in Form 4, it's actually hilarious. So, starting off, we have Natalie and Pink's friendship. Natalie and Anne, Olivia, Zara are friends, and also Natalie and Jordana, while they already weren't super close in Form 4, they were still kind of friends. So Natalie, Anne, Olivia, and Jordana, them four will always go around, you know, go to shopping, you know, test some clothes, and you take some selfies, you know, dab on the bridge like a total nerd, and post it on Instagram. I made a huge meme out of it. Zara was kind of left out a little bit because, again, a lot of people hate Zara. So they kind of left Zara, basically. And then we have Pink. Pink and Jordana, they were close too. So for a while, Pink was also with them, you know. And Pink and Natalie, they start to learn about one another because Natalie's a very emotionally unstable, crazy person who's suicidal and who self-harms. And just so happens that Pink is also a very emotionally unstable person who's suicidal and who self-harms. So Natalie and Pink, they became close friends, and they're like, oh, I cut myself. Oh, you too? Damn, can I see your cuts now? Like, it's just so, like, you'd never think a situation like this would happen, but it happens. And Jordana was with them, and given how, you know, crazy and, you know, psychopathic is Jordana, like you'd think Jordana would be like, oh, blood and gore, that's sexy. But actually Jordana was quite shocked, like, you two cut yourself? That's insane, bro. That's insane. And also, Natalie, I forgot if is it Natalie or Pink, but Natalie, I think it's Natalie. Natalie eat chalk because Pink is allergic to chalk, or at least she doesn't like chalk. So every time the teacher calls Pink out, you know, to write something on the blackboard, she would put a tissue paper on her hand before she grabs the chalk because she just doesn't want calcium carbonate to come in contact with her own skin because it's filthy. But very soon that habit disappeared. Like Leo's habit of, you know, rubbing nose and, you know, doing this, like, very soon Leo acted so much more normally, but he still does this from time to time, which is really cool. A cool quirk, okay? But yeah, Natalie and Pink became friends. Up next, we have the exam in January. I still remember that in January 2018, I got so upset after the exam, the final exams. Not really the final exams, more like the end of the first term exam. It was so bad, I failed the Chinese writing. I pushed over my table and just ran away. Not really ran away, walked away coolly. Because I was just so angry about it. And Queenie was in the classroom, and Queenie's like, oh, this is so annoying. Or at least that's what Natalie says to me. Like, every time Natalie reports something to me, Back in the days, it's always like, oh, she hates you, he hates you, oh, she also hates you. You're really lame. That's why I was in such a bad position emotionally, because all I receive is just negativity. No one really compliments me to a point where I'm just kind of used to it. Like, yeah, I know I'm a loser. Yeah, it's whatever. Uh, yeah. And then on January 24th, Natalie and Cedric, they were doing some computer stuff in a TV room on the 6th floor, and I went up there, hung out with them, and I cried. I just got so upset. I'm like, I'm so useless. I'm not supposed to be born. I'm such a failure. I'm such a loser. Like, I shouldn't be alive, and I just cried, and they just didn't care. And I think Tyrus was there, or maybe not. But yeah, that was like a really, really terrible moment for me. Yeah. I think I made an entire video about this in one of my school update videos where I just cry my ass off, like, what for? All my revision, all my work, what for? I think that's the moment. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, another thing is incident between Anne. Because Anne is a small, harmless, pure, innocent, loli tsundere girl, so the boy gang, there were already two gang of boys at that point. One gang is the virgins, and the other gang are all the chads. And the Chad gang, I call them Potato Gang for no good reason whatsoever. And the Virgins gang, I call them the Bean Gang, like beans, Bean Gang, because it's a funny name. So Bean Gang and Potato Gang. So Kingsley obviously isn't Potato Gang, alongside with Ronald, Oliver, Ernest, Edward, Dean, and for the Virgin Gang or Bean Gang, let's not call them virgins, because there are actually a handful of nice people in Bean Gang. So Tom, AJ, Hector, Hans, Marty, they're in the Bean Gang. So what happened was that the people in Potato Gang, the Chads, they were making fun of Anne. They're trolling Anne, calling him Anus, because Anne, Anus. Get it? Also start with A. So they call her Anus, and she's like, oh my god, stop calling me names. Like, So one time Anne got super upset and tried to fight Edward. Really, like fight Edward. Because Edward also called her Anus. And like I don't know, didn't smash, but like pushed over Edward's table, grabbed Edward's pencil case, opened it, and throw all the pens and stationery on the ground, like throwing a tantrum. And Natalie and Pink tried to stop Anne, and that backfired on them. Anne started to hate Natalie and Pink for some reason, and Natalie and Pink, they both cried, and they both wanted to kill themselves, and they both went insane because of this incident. And I wasn't even there when that happened. I was practicing drama. No, I remember. I left already. I left with Nick and Leo. Me, Nick, Leo were the new trio. That rhymes. And all that just happened. The next day I went to school. I'm like, what the fuck happened? And apparently that happened. Okay. It isn't true that Zara's completely left out of the picture, because in March 2018, I think my English oral teacher, he's from the UK, England. He's like, oh, you speak really good English, what if, hypothetically, you become the host or formally MC, Master of Ceremony, for the open day, which are very, very important days, where everyone important in the school, like all the teachers, the principals, the school managers, and the parents, they come to the school, and they bring their elementary school kids / primary school kids to check out the school. It's a very important day, like open day. It's serious day, okay? You cannot make any jokes. It's a very serious day, very formal as well. So the English teacher was like, hey, are you interested in becoming the MC for open day? And at first I'm like, wow, this is like, come on, this is too much for me. Like, am I able to do this? Like, this is too formal, you know, this is too big for me. But after some considering, I'm like, you know what? I'm a grown man. I'm a grown man, okay? You know what? I'm gonna do it. So I did it, and I don't regret it. It was nerve-wracking. Like, the first few minutes of... So I went up to the stage once in the opening ceremony, and then at the end in this closing ceremony, and we both have speeches, and we write our speeches on like a cue card and stuff, and we kind of have to memorize them, but we can hold them on our hand because it's very long, you know. So at first it was nerve-wracking, and also Zara, so I'm the English MC, so I and Zara, we're gonna pretend to have a conversation on the stage, but she's gonna speak in Mandarin Chinese, and I'm gonna speak in English, okay? And I'm gonna use my American accent because it's my default accent, so let it be, okay? But that's not really what matters. Yeah, Zara, she's not a hateable person at all. No. Now, so this British teacher, right? He's responsible for, you know, checking my intonation and the way I speak in front of the teachers and the principals, you know. And then we have the Mandarin teacher, the teacher from Beijing. Remember that Chinese teacher from Form 1? The woman from Beijing? She's the Chinese teacher who's responsible for Zara. So the Beijing teacher and the English teacher, they would both be in the same room with me and Zara, and me and Zara, we would have, you know, rehearsals. And the Chinese teacher, she hates me. I don't know, I didn't do anything. And even when Zara messes up, like stutters, like the Chinese teacher would go to me and say, it's your fault, okay? You shouldn't have disturbed her. And I'm like, bruh, I didn't say anything. I didn't do anything, okay? And one time, we were doing rehearsal, and we were supposed to sing the school song, but of course, I can't sing, so I, you know, just mouthed it. And the Chinese teacher was like, sing it, have some passion, have some integrity. So next time rehearsal, I sang it, and the teacher was like, why did you sing it? You disturbed Zara. No, I actually remember what happened. What actually happened was that I actually sang it, and the Chinese teacher thought I mouthed it, and thought I was disturbing Zara, when in fact, in the beginning I actually sang it, and she's like, oh, it's not good. So yeah. But anyways, it was fun, and it was good. Like, it was that one thing that, hey, at least I did that. In my school life, I didn't waste it, you know? Yeah, my school life, it's full of regrets and stuff, but this is one of the few things that I'm actually happy about. You know, one of the few things that I'm actually proud of. Also, in the same year, we did the play thing, Macbeth, and I played the main character. This is like my number one favorite moment not really my number one favorite moment, more like my proudest moment is when I got an Outstanding Performance Award for playing Macbeth. But let's be honest here, even if you suck at acting, if you're a main character, it's very likely that you're gonna get the award. It's very likely, because the award system in the Hong Kong Inter-School Drama Festival is actually absolutely bullshit. So if you're a side character, you're not going to win any awards. Very likely, 90% chance, okay? If you're the main character, you have 90% chance of winning an award, unless your acting is that bad. But very likely you're going to win it. But legit, I was really happy with my acting performance, you know? I did an English accent with a bit of a Scottish twist to it. I actually studied a lot of Scottish accent. I binge watched a lot of Lemmy show before playing Macbeth. And it was fantastic. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I love acting. What can I say? Anyways, April 2018, Matt, someone I know from my math core class, he told me and Cedric that his father had committed suicide, unfortunately. And he quickly moved on from that. But yeah, it still sucks. And for a while he was pretty sad, but soon after, towards the end of the year, he actually sang in the Christmas party. He actually sang a song dedicated to his father, which I think is yeah, just good. And his performance is easily the best one because every other singer suck. Anyways, I guess there's one other incident. I'm just gonna quickly talk about it. Where Pink and Anne, they hate each other once again. Basically, I think Pink got a pretty low score for LS test in the midterms, and Anne said something wrong. So the other day, Pink wanted to murder Anne. Like legit, like not even kidding. Like Pink actually wanted to kill Anne. Or at least that's what I heard. But instead, Pink didn't go to school and bring a knife with her and all that, even though she has a history with knives. But Pink didn't go to school. But for a while, Anne and Pink, they can't see each other eye to eye. You know, they hate each other. But there's that. Yeah, so the gang of girls, Anne, Olivia, not for Olivia. Olivia doesn't know how to socialize with people, so Olivia has no drama. She has no secrets whatsoever. But Anne, Natalie, Pink, they always have drama. They always hate one another, and they always fight. And then Jordana as well. So there's always drama happening with them, and Natalie's always like, oh my god, like, oh, they're fighting again, please help. And then sometimes Natalie would go insane, like, ha 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 ha, I want to kill everyone, ha 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 ha, humans suck, ha 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 ha. And she would just spam these laughing, crying emojis, and then she's like, it hurts, I just cut myself, I just tried to strangle myself. It hurts, but it feels so good. Something like that. Something along the lines of that. Like, at that point, I'm already like, oh, not again. Anyways, let me tell you. Okay, let me turn on the air conditioning. What's that? I'm going to tell you what happened in April, late April, LAD. Learning Activity Day. So only in Form 4 will the entire form of people will have to, and it's compulsory, by the way, unless you privately tell your class teachers, like, oh, my son, my daughter, they can't do it, Everyone needs to go to mainland China for 3 days. For 3 days, mainland China. And it's not, far into the mainland China. We're not talking about Shanghai, Beijing, or any of those, Very nearby, just in Guangdong. And this is the LAD, the Learning Activity Day. And it's this trip that everyone's just anticipating. And, of course, it's huge, so, we all packed our bags. I had my luggage, and in my luggage there were, sleeping clothes, like casual clothes, and then there's the school uniform, there's the sports uniform, the PE uniform, and there's all that stuff. Watch my other video. I spent an entire video in School Update just talking about LAD. But anyways, it was a lot of fun. Like, I actually really enjoyed LAD. Like, it was great. It was fantastic. I absolutely love it, okay? Like, I've never socialized with people this much in school so far, but in LAD, I'm really like, yeah, let's do it, It just sucks that the itinerary for different classes are different. So for A, for B, and for E, we all go to the same few places. So we all have the same schedule. But for C and for D, for some reason, they have a different itinerary. So they live in a different hotel. And they're also in Guangdong, but they're in different, they go to different places. They visit different places. It's really weird. So I was a little upset that, oh man, I didn't get to see Mary. But also you think, oh, a little school trip, little over, outside of the country, school trip in the hotel room, you'd expect a lot of sex action, right? No, absolutely not, because the teachers, they get to choose who we partner with. So every hotel room has 2 beds. So I'm partnered with Nick, which is great because Nick is my close friend, and we just don't mind each other. He snores and it's boring, but impossible. It is impossible to have a boy and a girl together in one room. It is just the teachers, they won't allow it. Okay, no sex allowed. No sex allowed. Okay. But who cares about sex, really? When the trip itself is that fun. Now I'm gonna grab my diary and I will quickly go over what happened in the LED. But also you can just watch that other video I did, or watch my Me Around the World video where I talk about Guangdong and all that stuff. I will mention those places as well. So it was April 26th, the day after the reunion day. The reunion day, yes. 6:13 a.m. I woke up and I arrived at school at 6:45. I was a little late, and then afterwards we had a very long bus ride to the border between Hong Kong and China, and then afterwards we need to cross another border, and we entered Shenzhen, and the air quality immediately dropped by half, and we saw a child pissing on the road. Welcome to mainland China. And then we took another really long bus ride, and we went to Qianhai, or Qinhui, which is in the suburbs of Shenzhen or Shenzhen, and it's this very boring, futuristic economic development place where we learn about how China is developing one belt, one road, and this project and that project, green ecosystem, financial, political, whatever. It's boring. And then afterwards, we went to the 青年梦工厂. I'm terrible. Kill me. And it's another boring place. And then we had lunch, and then we took a very long bus ride to Guangzhou, and we had lunch in this 百姓小厨. And then afterwards, and we formed groups, of course. So I and Nick were partners in the hotel room, okay? But actually, we formed groups. So each class formed 3 groups, and us group, we there's another teacher supervisor who's gonna supervise our group, And then afterwards, we went to a giant trash. So okay, my group: Nick, AJ, Dean, Grant, Edward, Betsy, Natalie, Pink, and Scooby, which is really cool. I only realize this now, but I and Grant and Natalie and Pink are in the same group. That's a lot of friends. Except back in the days, only me and Nick are friends. I and Natalie talk a little bit, but Natalie's busy with Pink. Anyways, we went to a trash incinerator. We visited a trash incinerator on day 1, and I saw Linda there, and it's really boring. And then afterwards, we visited an electric car, a company in Guangdong, and it's also absolutely boring. But I made a genius move. So phones are not allowed. You cannot turn on your phone in front of the teachers unless it's nighttime. In the nighttime, you can use your phone however you want. But in the morning, in the daytime, while in the trip, using your mobile phone, it's against the rules. But what's not against the rules? A camera. So I'm like, I'm gonna take advantage of that. So Nick I didn't even bring a camera because at first I thought, whatever, no one's gonna care. But Nick brought a camera, so I thought, you know what? I'm gonna take photos and videos. So I took a lot of photos and videos in this trip. I think I'm the only person who took a lot of photos and videos, and it's not for the school or anything, just for my I edited a little video after this with death grips in the background, crazy swooshy video, not sponsored by school, which is really cool. So yeah, I took a good number of photos and videos in this trip. Not enough to make a full travel vlog, because again, if I always hold a camera, the teachers are going to be like, wow, stop using that. But I still want to do it, I still want to do it. Okay, anyways, afterwards, we went to this little 酒家 where, just one of those Chinese restaurants, circular tables, whatever, dim sum and stuff. And then afterwards, we took the elevator back down, and then I said something wrong, and and it was a little awkward, but that's day 1. Day 2 was awesome. Day 2 was absolutely awesome. So in the beginning, we went to a 16th century Chinese village. Not really village, but yeah, it's technically a village, but also it's a giant furnace where people make clay things, like clay bowls, clay plates, and cups. It's called the Nanfeng Zao or something like that. And then afterwards we went to Linnan Tiandi, another old ancient Chinese village, and me, Oliver, Edward, Dean, Grant, Nick, we actually went to a little restaurant, and we had mango shangpi nai, I think, and it tastes so good. And then we had deep fried milk, which is yes. I love deep fried milk. It is great. And then afterwards we had lunch in a place called Li Yumen, which is strange because there's a place in Hong Kong called Lei Yun, so I don't know. And afterwards we visited a secondary school there, and it was like they're all like slaves and stuff, but they're pretending like they're having a happy life. It's all an act. And then afterwards dinner back in the hotel. It sucks. The food sucks. During the dinner, one of the teachers were like, stop it, everyone stop it. One of the teachers, and it's very scary because that teacher actually used to live in the same building as I am right now in Hong Kong. Okay, anyways, the teacher was super upset, saying that we're too loud and we're too naughty, we're making a bad rep of our school. And then suddenly Nick's phone rang. And Nick was sitting right beside me during dinner, and his alarm went off, and everyone's like, oh, who's that, and it was Nick, and it was so embarrassing. It was so funny as well. Not even a phone call, it was just an alarm ring, but because Nick had turned on his phone, and that's against the rules, so the teachers confiscated Nick's phone, and Nick got really upset on that day. And at night, it was Derek's birthday, and everyone rushed into Derek's hotel room, including our class teachers, and we all jumped on the beds, we screamed, we yelled, we all went crazy, and it was so much goddamn fun. At that point, no one cares about drama. No one cares about, I hate you because of this, because of that. No one cares. We just want to have fun. We just want to go crazy. So we did, and it was absolutely entertaining, and it was absolutely fun, and it was one of the best moments in my entire school life, at least in the top 3. I didn't expect myself to have so much fun. And I went into the classroom, the hotel room, and I only went there because I was curious. And then suddenly I saw all these people behind me, like, what are they doing? Why are they carrying a cake? Turns out they're partying, and I'm like, screw it, let's party. No one even told me about this party. No one even told me that this party existed. I just went there by luck, and it just happened. Talk about luck, But yeah, absolutely exciting, absolutely fun. And then afterwards, we went to a supermarket, and I paid 9.9 renminbi to buy an iced tea, some candies, and some onion ring chips. And then afterwards, I went to Marty's hotel room because let's party more. But the teacher caught me and gave me a black mark for it. Yeah. Also, apparently, Jordana, Selena, and Natalie had some secrets. Day 3, we went to Guangzhou 科学中心, Guangzhou Science Museum, and it's boring. And then we went to a farm, and it's boring. And then we went back to Hong Kong, and we're cool. Back to school. First off, we have Tyrus's Meme War. Again, Tyrus and I, we were kind of in a beef, but it's more one-sided. Like, I really hated Tyrus, and the biggest reason why I hate Tyrus is because I just want to hate someone. I just want to have someone to hate because it just makes, it just gives me a motivation to wake up every day. Oh, I'm gonna wake up today. I'm gonna wake up, brush my teeth, and go to school because I hate someone. But Tyrus, he doesn't like me either. He calls me cringe and all that stuff. So, and I didn't even do this because I want revenge or anything. I'm doing this because I was just bored. But I love making memes, and I made just tons of Tyrus memes, and it was so goddamn funny. Like, I laughed my ass off making these memes. Leo told me that he and Tyrus, they used to have a bit of a beef too in Form 1, but it's like a friendly competition. Because they both suck at Chinese, but they're for some reason really great in English. One day, Tyrus and Leo in Form 1, they kept asking the teacher to add marks on their Chinese test paper. So I made a meme out of that. And at one point, I forgot if it's Form 4 or Form 5, but Tyrus went up to me in math class and said, "Hey man, please stop the memes. Please stop the memes." So I stopped. And I didn't even know that, Tyrus is affected by it or anything. But technically, I won. The war between me and Tyrus, I won. Because I made memes. The meme war. I won the meme war. So that's great. Up next, we have Nudie23. Natalie, for some reason, suddenly received... Natalie suddenly had... someone followed her on Instagram, and that someone has no profile picture, has no follows, and it's private and stuff. And the person DM'd Natalie like, "Oh, I'm trying to help a friend. My friend has a crush on you. He wants to date you." And for a very, very long time, no one knows who is this person. We only know his name, which is Newty, Newty 23. And the person says he's from D class, and we just keep thinking, like, who is it? 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 Still, to this day, we're not really sure who is it. But maybe it's Topher's friend, because Topher has a friend in D class, and the person didn't say who he is, but he said he's from D class, and Topher's like has a huge crush on Natalie as well, which I will also talk about later. Afterwards, I lost my PE clothes twice on a bus. I got really upset about it. I made an entire video about it. You can check it out. I fucked up. I'm really embarrassed about it. Like a whole bag of PE clothes. My PE uniform, my sports shoes, all donated, including my bag, just donated. It's all gone. And then we have the sports day where I went up to the air conditioning room, and I actually signed up for being an official, I think, but for some reason they just didn't choose me as an official. Because if you don't become an official or a participant in the sports day events, the only thing you can do is sit down and watch, and also cheer, like yell slogans, and that's fucking boring. I've already done that for 3 years. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be an official. So I signed up. You know what? I'm gonna be an official this year, so I have something to do. And also I'm gonna be electronic board, because if you become the electronic board manager of the sports day, because in the stadium there's this huge board where it's like, oh, first place, this student from this house. I'm gonna and everyone who manages the electronic board gets to enjoy their lives and do whatever they want and chat in an air-conditioned room. So I signed up for electronic board, and turns out they didn't even choose me as an official. At the end, I'm like, fuck it, okay? I'm still gonna pretend to be an official. So I had a piece of label paper, and I just stick it onto my clothes, and I just pretended to be an official, and no one cared. I just sneaked by, which is really cool. Smart guy. I'm the detective. Fuck you. And then, of course, we have the exams, which isn't great, but whatevs. No one cares. And then in early July, July 1st, we already fast forward to July. There's one moment in May where someone forced Topher to sing a Chinese song, because Topher loves singing, and Topher threw a tantrum, and by throwing a tantrum, Topher screamed like, ah! and and then just smiled awkwardly and just walked away. Like it was the cringiest tantrum you could ever throw. Okay, just grow a pair of balls. If you don't want to sing, just say no. No, I don't want to sing. At the end, I would like to share with you the beach incidents. At the end of Form 4, we all went to the beach on July 7th. But actually, before that, a week ago, Natalie, okay, a bunch of people went to the beach, okay? And they didn't invite me because why would they? You know, I'm such a fucking loser. I'm such a nerd. I'm such a virgin. I don't socialize with people. Why would they invite me? For what? You know? So Sandra, Kingsley, Cedric, Natalie, Tyrus, Pink, I think Queenie and Harry also went there. They all went to the beach, and apparently this beach is one of the most important moments, and I wasn't there to witness it. Crazy things happened on this beach. So first of all, there's this disagreement between Pink and Natalie. I forgot if it's this incident or if there's another incident later on, but basically, Natalie wanted to invite Queenie, because I think Harry's no, I don't think Harry's gonna go there, but Natalie wanted to invite Queenie there, and Pink didn't say anything. And when Queenie arrived, Pink is like, "Oh my god, why did you invite someone without my permission?" And then Natalie's like, "Why are you being such a boss? You're not even like the leader or anything. Like, why do I need to ask for your permission?" And then Pink's upset, like, "At least tell me that you're gonna invite Queenie." So there's that thing. Another thing was that everyone went into this floating bed. Not real bed, like floating thing, platform in the middle of the fucking sea. This circular thing, I wasn't there, so I don't know what happened. But essentially, they all climbed, and it's a big thing apparently. So they all climbed up to this floating thing, and they had fun. And I don't want to put too much detail into this, but given how big of a pervert Kingsley is and how horny Natalie is, Natalie accidentally used her feet to play with Kingsley's dick, and Kingsley got a boner from it. Like, Kingsley was aroused and he was enjoying it, you know, he was having some orgasm out of it, you know, and Natalie saw that, and Natalie didn't stop, like, "Oh yeah, you know, foot job, so sexy," which, by the way, I don't have foot fetish. I don't understand people who have this fetish, but apparently this happened. And then Topher back then had a huge crush on Natalie, and apparently Topher's there, and Topher had a boner from watching it. At least that's what Natalie herself told me. All at the same time, Kingsley was taking a peek, because Kingsley was down there, like Kingsley was towards the center of the platform, and Pink was on the edge and was opening her legs wide because she has to support herself, because this floating platform, it's unstable, it can flip, so she needs to, you know, hold herself together. And Kingsley, given the opportunity, took some peeks in Pink's underneath, basically. So very sexual, but just as sexual would be July 7th, when we all went to the beach again. This time I was invited, the whole class was invited, and I also made a video about it, check it out. But basically, Natalie sat on Topher's lap for like half an hour, and Topher was so rock hard, like you can tell from his face, like he's having the best time of his life. Unfortunately, I didn't take off my shirt and swim. I knew how to swim, but I was like, oh, if I take off my shirt, people are gonna laugh at me, because truth be told, I don't have a very muscular body. I'm like a stick. I'm malnourished, basically. So I didn't want to take off my shirt and go crazy, you know. I just don't want to, you know. Pink wore a bikini. She just didn't care anymore. She just doesn't care anymore. And at one point there's this grasshopper, and that didn't happen yet. Or did that happen yet? I forgot. I think that already happened. And Natalie didn't wear a bikini, but she wore something still kind of revealing, you know, with a cleavage and also very short bottoms. So that just made the whole Topher situation worse. And also Topher's a huge pervert too. So I believe that Natalie regrets this decision now. Like, sitting on Topher's dick for half an hour, not one of my prouder moments. But yeah, afterwards I had sunburns and it was bad. But that's pretty much it. And then afterwards, in the entire summer, I went to Europe. I went to Scandinavia. People who study biology go back to school. They play with dildos. Mary was there too. God damn it. I wish I could see Mary. Like, ever since Form 4 in summer, we had to go back to school because we need to have extra classes because the teachers, they ran out of time. You know, they have so much to teach. So even in summer break, we need to go back to school. But I couldn't because my parents already booked a flight to Amsterdam. So I ended up not attending any of those classes. And Mary studies biology too. Okay, I could have seen Mary, okay, but I didn't because I was a loser. Okay, I was a loser.